Alright guys, after some technical difficulties, let's see if this works. This is 8.7, arc length of a circle, and we're familiar with central angle. We're familiar with the arc measurement. And so what we're looking for now is actually, the arc measurement we've looked at before is in degrees. We're now looking for the length of that. So that's a portion of it's a portion of the circumference is what we're looking for. So an arc is a fraction of the circumference, or a portion, or a ratio of the that measurement to the circumference. So we've got the minor arc, which is less than 180, that's in green, and then the major arc, which would be this portion back here. If we had another letter back here, we could actually name it, but that would be the major arc. All right, so the arc length of a circle. So we've got a portion of the circle outlined there, XY in green, and that's made up of an opening of the 360, an opening of an angle of the 360. So we have a portion of the 360 degrees, which would be the angle out of 360, and so the ratio of the length of the arc to the circumference is equal to the ratio of the measure of the arc to 360. So that's what I was talking about here, which is in degrees. The part of the circle, the measure of that arc out of 360 is equal to the arc length, the length of that same arc out of the circumference, which is represented as 2 pi r. This side is in linear units. So that's the length, and then here is the degree measures. So here's how we're going to use that. So you will be given a circle with your central angle, which is equal to the minor arc out here. So 45 out of 360 here, and 45 out of 360 is your edge of the circle. Your radius is 6, so we would use that in circumference, 2 pi r. So this problem would be set up as 45 out of 360 is the one ratio, and that's going to be equal to L. We'll call the arc length, we'll represent that by L, out of 12 pi, which is going to be our circumference using 6 as radius. 2 times 6 is 12 pi. And then we have a proportion that we've solved these, we've used these all year. We cross multiply and solve that for L by dividing by 360. And we're going to leave it in terms of pi in this case. Sometimes you'll be asked for leaving it in terms of pi, which is your exact answer. And sometimes you'll be asked to round to the nearest tenth or whatever for your decimal answer, which again is your approximation. This is an exact answer here, 3 pi over 2. Another example. Here's your 60 degrees. We're looking for the length of the minor arc. So that's this in green right here. So we're going to put 60 over 360 for this portion. And then the arc length that we're looking for is our variable out of the circumference, which is 2 times 9, 18 pi. So here's our proportion. We're going to cross multiply and solve that for L, and again we're leaving that one in terms of pi, so that's going to be 3 pi. So again, what that represents is this length, this portion of the whole circle. That's way bigger than a 60-degree angle now that I'm looking at that. That's poorly drawn. But this represents 1/6 of the circle. If you think about simplifying that fraction down, it's basically 1/6 of 18 pi. Is what we're representing there, that measurement. So here's one for you to try. You can pause the video if you like. Here's your measurements that you're given. Notice that we're looking for the length of the major arc, PQR, so the yellow arc here, but you're given the 100. So think about that before you solve this. And I'll go ahead and set this up for you. So 360 minus 100 is going to be 260 for this portion that we're looking for. So that's the measure of the angle. It's the measure of the yellow arc. Then we're going to set that up as 260 over 360. And that's going to equal the length of that arc, major arc PQR, out of 2 pi r. Here's your r, so 2 times 10. And then you're going to cross multiply. Notice that this one says round to the nearest tenth, so we're going to go ahead and put 3.14 in here to approximate pi. And then divide by 360, you're going to get 45.4 meters. Again, that's a length. It's a length. It's not a degree measure. It's a length for your arc. So I hope that helps. Let me know if you have any questions.